believe the papers, I don't believe the news, 'cause all that they serve you are opinionated views. But don't switch on my TV, 'cause all they do is lie. And I don't need no programming telling me what to buy. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in war. What are the reasons why they're fought? Don't believe celebrities pretending to be what they ain't. Make poverty history, they say, bold in the saints. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. Don't believe the justice system will give you what you deserve. It's all around bad judges and Lucifer they serve. Don't believe banks are honest, they fleece you to the bone. And when there's nothing left to get, they'll even take you home. But I believe the truth will set you free. 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 All that they serve you are opinionated view. I don't switch on my TV, 'cause all they do is lie. And I don't need no programming telling me what to buy. But I believe the truth will set you free. 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 I believe the truth will set you free.
Aurore.
Sorry?
Aurore.
Can you spell that? Because I might have to type that out.
A-U-R-O-R-E.
And your friend?
And I'm Clarence.
Where are you from, did you say?
From France.
Oh, France, whereabouts?
In Paris.
Yeah. Oh, great. Love Paris, yeah. So we're just going to ask you a few questions just about how you perceive the world you live in and what you think.
you want to start off then?
Yeah, okay, fine. Hiya, he's alright, thanks for speaking to us. I'm Dale, hiya.
Hi, nice to meet you.
How you too?
Gavin.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi.
Gavin, hi.
So we're basically just asking people about the world we live in to see if people understand the difference between religion and science and things like that. So could I ask, are you religious in any way?
Yeah, I'm religious.
You are religious?
I'm a little bit. I'm Christian, Catholic,
Right.
and yes, and she is not.
I'm not, yeah.
So you understand that religion is like about faith and belief and stuff like that. So if I says to you then science is, observing, measuring, testing and repeating, and it has to fit that criteria in order for it to be science, would you agree that that's what science pretty much is? Could I ask you then, the world we live in, do you believe that it is a globe? Do you believe the world is a round ball?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something? I don't know. Well, I think that both religion and science are part of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think the actual Earth is a ball?
Yeah.
Do you think the Earth is a
Yes.
globe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Could I ask you why you think that?
because science demonstrated it, and we have proof of that.
Yeah, we have lots of proof, and I don't know, like when we see something, then we have some proofs. and
Like I said about science being observing, measuring and testing.
Yeah.
So then if I ask you, if you say you do believe it is a globe, can I ask you what's the number one reason why you believe it is a globe?
Because of science and the studies that have been made during the years.
Would it be safe to say then because of the images they show you?
Yeah, and because of, I don't know, the knowledge
don't know,
that
like-
we have.
But personally, what's your own experience of the Earth? Have you ever witnessed the Earth as a globe with your own eyes?
Not really.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, what the horizon is? Do you know the horizon?
Uh-huh.
What shape is it?
What, sorry?
What shape is the horizon? When you look out to the sea,
Udo.
you know the line
Yeah.
that goes across, is it curved?
No, we don't see it like
No,
curve.
yeah.
See it?
But we have seen but when we are just in, in the moon, when you see for example, when we see people from the moon who just show us we see that it's
If
it's
you believe
really,
they went to the moon, so I say you
yeah,
believe
of
they
course,
did go to the moon.
I believe it. Yeah.
So
No,
if,
it wasn't a film or whatever. Yeah.
if we go back to science then, you understand liquid?
Yeah.
Now if I say to you that the liquid will take the shape of the inside of the bottle,
Yes.
but the surface of the liquid
Yeah,
will
it's-
always
yeah.
flat. Okay?
Like a
So-
swimming pool or a lake
or a bath,
bathtub.
or so we know that's how liquid behaves. It doesn't, in the middle it can't have a hump in it like that because it can't support itself. So that's science. Now they say that the Earth is 80% covered in water,
Yeah.
and we know that it has to be flat and level.
Yes, but at the time, yeah.
But that fact alone contradicts the images that we see of the Earth being a globe.
I wasn't expecting that. Yeah.
Would you think that's a contradiction? Do you think that's a contradiction to your natural
No.
observation?
Not a contradiction.
No, because there is something that just contains the water, but
Yeah.
I don't think there is there is just space. It's not containing us.
Yeah.
That's why it just keep going this way, because there is I don't know in English, sorry.
Yeah.
But there is the magnets,
Gravity.
and
Gravity.
this is
Yeah.
why the water stay this way.
But we can never observe that. We can't
You can't see
recreate
water
it.
bending, right?
Yeah, but I think there was proof. Yeah.
So if I brought you an image
Yeah.
of the Loch Ness Monster, and I said to you, there's an image of the Loch Ness Monster, do you now believe that the Loch Ness Monster is real? Would you believe it?
No.
Because there was lots of proof. Actually, we are going to see the
Yeah.
Loch Ness tomorrow.
So when you go there tomorrow, look how flat the water is. But the point is that I can make any image, and I can show you an image, and I can show you many images of the Loch Ness Monster. Would you then say that that's scientific
But
proof?
you are the only one who will show us this. It's been years that lots of proofs have been accumulated, and
Do you know how many people have been in space?
lots because
520.
yeah.
So if 520 people showed you the Loch Ness Monster picture, would you believe that?
I don't know.
I don't know, because it's like a monster, and for the moment there is like no really like proofs of any monsters of any kind.
Well, I could say the same about the globe. There's no proof for the globe.
There's only 520 people telling you
All
that.
we have is
Yeah, but
images.
studies have been made, so...
Well, if I said to you that the images that we see from NASA and the space institutions, they aren't actual photographs. They're composite images. If you go home and you go on your computer and you type in real photographs from space, or real photographs of satellites, or any real photograph from space, you won't find one. You'll get a computer generated image. It's not an actual photograph. You know, you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, as I say, you've never experienced the Earth as a globe with your own eyes.
No.
No.
You know, your senses,
Yeah.
as I say, when you look at the horizon,
Yeah,
everything's
even
flat.
when we are in a plane, it's just like flat. Yeah,
flat.
it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's natural science, that's observational science, you know, and if we do that repeatedly, for me that's facts of life. But if we know that and we know how liquid behaves, and somebody brings me an image that contradicts how we test and observe, there's something wrong with the image. Do you understand? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 But I don't know, like we just, since we are a child, people, you know, like told
Small
us
group,
that,
Exactly,
and
same
that
as us.
people were wrong before, and that, but now we are like, it's the truth. So,
Well,
yeah.
That's the same for all of us, and
Yeah.
Gav, he graduated from this
I'd like
very
to show you a
university.
little picture. That's me standing over there
Yeah.
with my combined mathematics and physics honours degree. That's
Is
me.
it?
Yes, that's me. Well, that's me a little
gosh.
bit later with my wife, and that's my degree. That's me there with my family, and well, you can see me now in full life. I thought you want to see that too. Go on then. It's so exactly where we're standing here.
If that the Earth.
No, I used to believe it, and since 3 years it goes against all my natural observations, and that's, I think, the point we're trying to make is that's what we all have in common, that we can all make those observations with our
Yes.
eyes, with water, with natural facts, and that's what should unite us in real knowledge, and not believing something that somebody told you, or a film you
Yes.
might have seen, or something like that. So that's why we are here, because we'd like to get people to critically think again for themselves.
Yeah,
What we
it's-
have in
it's
common is much
interesting,
more
actually.
important than believing a scientist.
Yes. And the thing is that I've sometimes just wondering, like, if, you know, like we really like went to the moon, because, you know, like I like to see like the
Sure.
things, you know, like
Yeah.
that see like, hey, we are not in the moon and it was all a film, and but I've
was.
never wondering like, hey, if
Yeah.
it was not a
Well,
globe.
if I
like,
says to you that, you know, they faked going to the moon
yeah.
so that they could you know, tell people that the Earth was a globe, but they never really went to the moon.
Yeah.
You know?
That was the whole intention of them going there, I think.
Yeah,
That-
because what they done was they went up in an aircraft and they had a circular window,
Yeah.
and they put the lights out in the aircraft and they filmed the circular window
Yeah.
to say that's the Earth from space, but it's not.
But yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then because they get so much money, they get $50 million every single day, so they want to keep that money. So they then produce films like cartoons and, you know, like Hollywood does, and that's what they give us. You know, and if you go now onto like places like YouTube, you can look at NASA footage. If you type NASA fakery, you can see them with the wires. You can see anomalies because they're using like virtual reality technology. So you ever seen a PlayStation? You know what a PlayStation is?
Yeah.
And they had a thing that came out a couple of years ago, and it was like a wee bar that you sat on your PlayStation and it filmed you, and then you could see yourself on the screen. But at the same time, you could see like small objects and you could kick them. And you ever seen that? And you can see it. You can't see it in real life, obviously, but on the screen you can see the objects and you can kick them and interact with them on the screen. So they seem to be using these types of
Like
technologies.
Pokemons, they'd probably be
Yeah.
get a Pokemon.
So their incentive is to keep that money coming because it's about greed. And again, you know, reality, have a look at it. It's a level play.
You feel yourself spinning? You're going at 1,000 miles. Well, up here you're going about 850 miles an hour. Turning. Do you feel that?
No.
No, because neither do I.
Not really.
But can I just add something because of the globe? Because
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
really,
Sure.
because for example, when you just go from America, you can go this way or this way. But if it was like that, you will not
Well,
be able, you know, like
yes,
to go
yeah,
to
look.
to Europe by.
There's the North Pole.
Yeah.
There's North Pole.
In the middle.
Here's America.
Yeah.
Here's Australia.
Okay.
Here's South America. So
Okay.
I go,
Yes.
And if I was holding a compass in my hand, everywhere I go would point north, and this would always be east and west. So you can circumnavigate on a plane going in a circle the same way you can on a supposed globe.
Yes.
and a compass you hold flat. Like that. A map,
Yeah.
it's flat.
Yeah, but it's because we can't like do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's.
Don't let the
Yeah.
mathematics confuse you. You're not. You can't feel you're
I'm not a
spinning.
mathematician. You know, I have chosen
It confused me
history,
long enough.
Yeah.
So
We're more like languages people
Yeah.
and not scientists. So,
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah, but-
understand it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
yeah, no, I was
of
just going to
course.
say everybody's a natural scientist.
Yeah.
That's the thing that everybody has to, I think, become again. You know, because if you give your authority and your belief to somebody else to do it for you, then you have absolutely no way of verifying if what he's saying is true. So, but natural facts like water is always level, or you can't feel yourself spinning, those are the kind of things that people need to understand. That's natural science, and everybody's one. So you are a natural scientist, whether you know it or not.
And if you understand language, just like you were saying, because mathematics is a language, and like any other language, I can use English and I can tell you the truth, or I can use English and I can tell you lies. Mathematics is the same. You can start from false axioms and you can create a mathematical construct.
Thank you. Oh.
Beat me to it.
Haven't got any more. You'll need to give me more.
I don't know if there's any good ones in that one. Yeah.
Wow.
That's quite a nice one too. I don't know if you saw that, but they sent images from Pluto recently,
Yeah.
where they said that the billions of miles across space. But I don't know about you, but I lose my mobile signal regularly, so I wonder how they managed to transmit.
What does that? What does it say, Gavin?
Probes collect signals millions from light years away, yet we can lose a mobile signal here on Earth.
Funny that.
You go into a valley and you lose your signal
Actually,
because it's
yeah.
towers that are transmitting. It's not satellites. They don't exist.
I have a place in France, and it's a small village with like,
No signal
and there
at
is
all.
no signal at all. Like, yeah, really.
Yeah.
Well, with all these satellites up there, you'd think it would be. I mean, there's nothing in the way, right?
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah, well, I never thought like that
Yeah.
about the globe.
Yeah.
About, as you said.
Because sometimes I just wonder, like if, like the images that people shown us, is it real true?
Well-
But I've never wondering like.
When you go,
About
see, when you go
Well,
home now,
good.
I suggest that you go online and you go to NASA and we look for real images from space, and you're going to right away you're going to look at it and go, you've never thought about it before, but now that I've said it to you, you're going to look at it and say that's not a real photograph. And then you look at the contradictions from their images. The land masses are different sizes. There's so many anomalies. The clouds have been pasted in, copied and pasted, because they're not actual images, and they tell you that they're not actual photographs. They tell you that they're composite images.
Can I just say that we also thought, as you did, that we were exactly there when people approached us, and we thought we can't possibly believe that. So we went off and we started reading, researching, speaking to other people, looking at other natural observations, and then we realised, we've all been conned. So,
Like any religion, religions in the days gone by, and no offence to your religious beliefs, but religions controlled people. So they never gave that up. They knew that people were getting scientific, so they infiltrated the science, and science, that aspect of it, has now become a religion. Because if you go away from natural science, which is observing, testing, measuring, repeating, you're going into the realms of faith and religious belief. So as I say, if I know in science how liquid behaves, and that's a scientific fact of life, and then somebody brings me an image that says something different, I know that their image is a lie. That they're trying to lie to me. It has to be.
And maybe just
Show me the evidence.
one important thing is that we're not of the opinion that there's a big conspiracy of scientists, right? It's more of, because I know myself how easy it was to manipulate my belief system without looking at the evidence. So it's not a big conspiracy among lots of people. It's just a lot of people who have been brainwashed since they were children, who have taken on beliefs, who haven't looked for the evidence, who haven't thought for themselves, That's what's happening
But,
out here. Yeah.
but
So.
actually, I think it's different because at the time people were killed when they say that the Earth was like a circle. I think like that's
Sure.
why people
that's what
like
they
tell us.
Yeah.
And then we just learned at school like why we have to think that the Earth is like a globe and everything.
Yeah.
So it's not as if like they say that okay, the Earth is a globe and that's it.
No, it's a small conditioning. Yeah, it's
But,
or goes a
yeah.
continuing thing.
How old are you? Do you mind me asking? How old are you?
21.
21.
Yeah.
I mean, I never questioned it at school, what I was told.
Me neither.
Between then and now, I never questioned it. Have you questioned it since we spoke to you? Is this the first time you've seriously looked at it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that quite telling though, that we all did that?
Because
Yeah, we
like
don't really-
because I don't because at first people I just learned the Earth was globe and before it wasn't, and that a lot of studies had been demonstrate this, and that people before was wrong and they were killed, and for myself I just like think
That's
that
manipulation,
Yeah.
and they use fallacies. They say things like, oh, 2,000 years ago, such and such, or 500 years ago. That's a fallacy, you know, because they're appealing to, you know, an authority and something that happened a long time ago. So we think, oh, well, it was happened such a long time ago, who am I to question it now? But you've used these methods just to stop you from thinking about it, you know? And then they tell you things like, oh, people used to question they were killed, so it gives more validity to what they're saying now, you know, as if people who claimed it were killed for claiming it was a globe. But for me personally, back then, if you did come and try to tell people it was a globe, they would have probably killed you, because it's absolutely ridiculous, you know. And people were more critical back then because people had skills, carpentry, woodwork, building, you know, people had a mechanical mind, so you couldn't convince them that the Earth was a globe back then.
You have to use a water level to build all of this. Everything you can see here is built with a water level.
Yeah.
So, you know, back then in the old days, people would have been, in fact, you know, I don't think, most people believed that the world was a flat level plane, and it's only like 300 years that this globe nonsense has come, and people beforehand, and then they give you these ridiculous images. If you think of flat Earth, then you think now of ships falling off the edge, which is just another idea in your head so that you dismiss it as nonsense, But
Yeah,
so
maybe we
all
didn't
manipulation.
because usually every year I go to Portugal for my holidays, and I go by
Lucky you.
plane. And I go by plane, and maybe it was because we see the Earth like
Horizon.
real flat, and maybe I thought that it was because we were not that higher
yeah.
to.
That's
Yeah,
what
but
they
it's
tell you,
because it's
but
really huge. Like
Yeah.
the Earth is really huge. That's why we never
We never
be
question
able like to see.
that.
That's what they tell you,
That's
yeah.
what they
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah.
If you go up in an aeroplane, the horizon will rise to your eye level. Whereas if you were standing on a ball, everything drops away on all sides from you, because a ball
So-
is equal, so that you would never have the horizon rising to your eye level.
So when you are on a ball and you rise up off it, the horizon should never come up to meet you at eye level. As you rise up, the horizon would drop in every direction. That's not what happens.
So when you're on a plane and you look out the window and you see the horizon at eye level, that
So-
shouldn't happen on a ball.
So if we go down on our knees, you know, the floor looks as if it's rising up, and as we stand up, you know, it keeps going out in front of us because it's flat. You know, that's just how our eyes and our perspective works. But even when you go on an aeroplane, it's called a aeroplane. You know, so it takes off and it gets to altitude and then it levels off with the ground, and it stays like that all the way.
But it's normal because like we keep. But it's
But it should be upside down in America.
no, because we're moving at the same time. That's
but
normal.
if you're on a ball,
because it's like that, but it's keep doing.
you ever been on an aeroplane where it tips its nose down?
I've never been actually in a
It stays level, and then when it gets to its destination, it comes down in stages like that.
So if this was a ball, then an aeroplane flying round would need to be.
yeah. Okay.
The stewardesses would have to have harnesses and climbing
Spill all the,
equipment to go up and down
spill
the
all the
aisle.
drinks, right? Think about it.
Yeah.
Your drinks wouldn't be very level, would they? They'd be spilling everywhere.
No, but yeah, that's a very good question actually. I've never.
And there,
No, we don't. We've never thought of it because we haven't
There's-
used our critical thinking.
There's also mathematical equations for how much curvature there should be. So, you know, like for 1 mile there's 8 inches of curve, and then it squares for every mile after that. So we have observation points, you know, like we can go to Blackpool and we can see the Isle of...
We were there like 2 days ago.
Well,
Could you see the Isle of Man? Over at the Isle of Man,
No.
did you not see it when you go
Yeah.
to Blackpool Beach? You can see the Isle of Man in the distance.
Uh-huh.
You know, according to the curvature calculator, you shouldn't be able to see that. It should be behind the curvature of the Earth. But we have these observations everywhere. Like, look over there through that gap, way over into the distance. You know, things don't curve away from you.
There's a limit to what your eye can see, which is why things disappear when they get very small, but it's not because they're going behind the curve and dipping away that you can't see them. That's again a
do you think they are?
fallacy.
Are your thoughts your own? I think some are manipulated, but yeah.
Like you believe you live in a globe.
But I think I will do my own research.
Good, good. That's all right.
For
Yep.
the moment, I still believe it's a globe.
Yeah.
I will like made my own
research,
study.
yeah.
But I think when you're doing research, I think you really should focus on that.
Show me the
Yeah, show me
evidence.
the evidence. Yeah.
So it has to be practical. You have to be able to recreate it, see it, and observe it, or else you should discard it because it's not really scientific.
It's a belief.
Yeah.
It's like a religion.
Yes.
Because
And
There's
I
no
have
science.
a channel that I go live every Saturday night.
Okay.
We invite any scientist or lecturer who thinks he can prove that we live on a spinning globe to come and prove to us that it's a spinning ball. Many have we had.
Wow.
So if you think you can, or if you think, or if you find
Or you
somebody
know
who
somebody.
thinks they can,
That wasn't a good study, but
so I'll give you the name of the channel. I don't have one of the cards, but it's called Beyond the Imaginary Curve.
okay.
which of course it is.
Remember
Yeah.
that? Because it is imaginary. So if you think, or if you want to give us any
Yeah, we will.
feedback, then
You're
let-
welcome.
do
Yeah.
that.
We'll see,
Yeah,
yeah.
make some comments on the video if you want, and because we'll put the video. Is that okay? We put the video up on the channel.
Yeah.
We interviewed a couple of lads just down the park there. We've got that on there as well, so we'll put it up together. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you students in France?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
what are you
students in
studying?
Birmingham.
It's our year abroad in Birmingham actually.
Birmingham.
And,
Yeah.
What are you studying?
languages.
Sorry, language.
Languages. Yeah.
French, German, English,
English and Spanish.
And German. Yeah.
Dutch. Ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen?
Yes.
Ja, sehr schön.
Yeah.
Oh, not more subtitles.